Hello, what's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, my name is Emmanuel. Today's video will be an intro to TKINTER, how to install it, and we'll write a basic script with it. So this series is going to teach you how to write TKINTER, not necessarily in a complicated way. Just make sure things are simplified to you. So if you're a complete beginner, just make sure you've gone through you're familiar with Python to an extent, then you should be able to take on this series and it should be good. Before we take a step into the tutorial, make sure you smash the like button, click the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. Now let's get into the video. Now, why this playlist among all other tutorials of TKINTER out there? Of course, there are also great resources on TKINTER out there, but with this series, it's more simplified, and I'm gonna make sure to explain it so you can understand. Even if you're a complete beginner, just make sure you're familiar with Python to an extent. You must have done some other basic Python projects, and then you should be good to go. Well, I'm not promising to explain basic Python concepts. You should know like the basics of Python. Just make sure you know that. Of course, you should know that before taking on this. So what is TKINTER? I've been talking about that since a lot of people pronounce it as TKINTER. Whatever I pronounce it as, just let me know what you think the correct pronunciation is in the description below, and let's see if that's what I'll start calling it from now. Pronouncing it as from now. Now, why should you learn it? Of course, we see ugly interfaces people create with TKINTER, and that's what we see the most. But I'm going to tell you the truth. You can actually create good looking user interfaces with TKINTER. So TKINTER is just used for creating desktop applications basically. So whenever you have TKINTER, it's like a wrapper around TLC for Python. Okay, so Python enables us to just develop desktop application through TCL and TK using TKINTER. That's what it is basically. Now, I don't want to bore you with this, but if you are thinking, oh, I don't want to create desktop applications, well, that's fine. But I'm going to tell you something. Imagine you just create a script for someone, let's say some sort of script, and the person cannot use a command prompt. Let's say the person is not a programmer. Of course, you need a faster way to be able to give the product to a person. If you cannot create a desktop, a mobile app, then you should be able to create just a desktop app, basic one with TKINTER, which is very easy to do with TKINTER. You can easily spin up just a desktop app and then integrate your app into it. So one thing I'm going to do is, after this series, some projects we've done in the intermediate and beginners projects playlist, I'm going to try to convert those to the GUI form. That's the reason why there's no GUI form of content in this playlist, so watch out for that. And now what we want to do now, we want to make sure we install it. So you're able to install it, of course. If you know about that, it comes pre-installed with Python whenever you install Python. So I'm going to type Python here. So if you type Python, just press enter. I'm using Python 3.9. I just want to make sure you have it installed. So you do import TKINTER. That should work. If that doesn't work, then comment down in the comment section below. I'll try to find a solution to that. Or you can just search for it on Google. But it will most likely work. And now to test it, all you do is TKINTER._test. So when you run this, you should open a window like this. Okay, you can expand it. Let me drag it towards this place. Oh, I can't also drag it because it's too small. Anyway, just make sure the version of TCL TK you're using is above 8.4, because in 8.5 and 8.6 there are some new widgets we might talk about in this series. Just make sure it's 8.5, 8.6, so you don't miss out. You don't have any errors when I'm not having any issues, because this is what I'm using, 8.6. We can also use 8.5 by the way. Okay, so it works well. So if you're on Mac and Linux have it pre-installed, but most likely it's going to be 8.4, something lower than 8.6. But 8.5 is okay, as I've said. Now, if you are using Mac, you can come to active state. To install that, just scroll down. You're going to click on TCL download. Click on that download, and that should take you to this page. So download that from Mac, Linux, blah blah blah. You click on this 8.6, 8.5, but I advise you to click on this, use this instead. Then it should take you to another page where it should tell you to fill some forms in order to download it. Just do it, or if you have a GitHub account, just link it up. No big deal about that. Okay, and if you don't want to do that, just like I usually do, I have a dummy Gmail account or email account I just use for stuff like this, so I can download it. You can do that as well. I'm not going to be showing you how to do that here. Now that is it for installation. But if you're on Linux here, of course Linux, let me show you something. If you're on Linux, to install it, let's close this app. this program rather, it's not an app yet. So now if you're on Linux, go to your terminal. In order to upgrade to the latest version of this device, of this TCL/TK or TKINTER, just do sudo apt get, then do install python dash and then type tk3. No, supposed to be python 3 dash tk. Yeah, this is it. So just type this in your terminal. It should take you to 8.6. Certainly, for now, I don't know, it depends on when you're watching this video, but it should take you to 8.6. So that's the solution for Linux. The other ways, if you have any issues installing it, make sure you comment in the comment section below. I've definitely put out some other ways you can install it. If this doesn't work on Mac, you can just follow this active state. Just go to www.activestate.com and follow what I showed you. But if you're on Windows, you have it pre-installed. You can just, if you don't have 8.5.6, you can just install Python 3.9 or an 3.6 or a version that has 8.5 or 8.6. I don't want to say 3.6 because I don't use that yet, and I don't know about that, but I'm not going to be checking it. So just if you have 3.6, check it. If it doesn't have 8.5, 8.6, make sure you upgrade to 8.5 or 8.6. But that doesn't mean you're thinking that is not going to work anyway. Now we have that out of the way. With all this said, now what are we going to be talking about in this series? Firstly, this introduction, which is a little bit long, I guess. So this is just to make sure we are all on the same page. So from now on, it's not going to be as much as this video. Might not be this long, and it might be depending on how or what the concept I'm talking about is. So the first one is setup and introduction. The next one is going to be about the concept. We'll talk about widgets, geometry management, event handling. Then from there we'll move on to simple and basic widgets. Then we'll start talking about buttons and stuff like that. Then we'll move on to geometry management, or ways we can manage the layout on our desktop application. Then we'll move on to dialogues and windows. From there we'll go to event handling. So at this point, when we get to event handling, then we'll be able to create a functional app with TKINTER or TKINTER. From there we'll move on to canvas, some more advanced stuff. Well, let me consider it as that, because some people have issues with that anyway. And then more widgets. We'll talk about some other widgets that can be useful, and from there we'll move on to organizing complex user interfaces. So we'll talk about multiple windows, white spaces, separators and stuff like that. Then we'll move on to styles and themes, how you can style your TKINTER widgets, your windows and stuff like that. So at the end of the video, we'll talk about the OOP approach to building GUI with TKINTER. So in this video, I'm not going to focus on using methods, those procedures in building this app. We'll just build it line by line. We're not going to make use of OOP for now, okay? So just make it simple for you. That's why it's simplified. You get the point. Okay, so if any changes come up to this content for this series, I'm going to make sure I update you on that. And that's it for the whole introduction. Now we've set up, so we're going to create a basic script. I'm going to close this, and then I'm going to show you to make sure TKINTER works on your system. Then we're going to come here, create a new file. Of course, the test also shows that it works on your system. But I'm going to come and I'm going to call this intro.py. And simplify things. We're going to do from TKINTER import everything. But I don't like doing that anyway. Well, we're going to stop. We're not going to do this when we start coding, actually. We're going to import in what we actually need. Okay. To follow pep. And then we're going to say from TKINTER import TTK. So now we're gonna create a root window. Okay, so this root window is gonna be like the base window, something like this. Okay, and then we're gonna say it, and then we're gonna create a button. We're gonna say tk.button. Now what you want the button to be linked with? You want it to be linked with the root window, and then what do you want to be in the button? The text. We're gonna say, let's just use hello world there, hello world, and then if I do root domain loop, so as you want to run this code now, she's gonna keep running it in a loop. That's how it works. So I'm gonna save this and run it. Now you're gonna see something. If I do Control B, it works, but our text is not showing. So one thing with this, this is just to show you about geometry management in Python. So without geometry management, we can't actually show anything. So I'm gonna do the grid, Control save it, and then I'm gonna run it. So as you can see, now we have our hello world, a button. So this is not expandable. Okay, it is. Now our button, as you can see, You can expand it as much as you want. And I'm gonna show you another way you can write the same code. And just to show you something, we're gonna do import TKINTER. This is just to show that the code is working anyway. Then we're gonna say root equals to TKINTER.tk. So instead of importing it, you can do it this way. If you know Python, you know about that. I'm not going to explain the Python in this video. And then we're gonna say TKINTER.button. Now TKINTER and TTK, the difference, the reason why I'm doing this is just to show you this. TKINTER is more like old kind of struct UI built. You're gonna see old stuff in TKINTER, while in TTK it's gonna be look more refined. You're gonna see that in a minute. And then we're gonna mirror it from root. So from root, and then we're gonna do text equals to hello world. Okay, the grid. Then we're gonna say root the main loop. We're gonna save that. Now if I run it, we get the same thing, but now look at the button. It looks kind of old. I mean, look at this effect. You click. Now you get different in TTK. Okay, now that's it for today's video. We have the introduction and setup. So from now on, just talk about other concepts like I mentioned earlier. And thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, then you should give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on my next epic content. Much love, guys. Peace out.